The first thing we want to do is open up with a prayer. So I want to have our minister, Brother Matthews, to come up and we'll open up with a prayer. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's pray. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. We're so grateful for gathering here this day to be informed better some of the things that we need for the body. And we pray for each one who shall give their presentation. Lord, we thank you for Sister Deans, Brother Deans, and your daughter for getting this program together. Let your grace go with each of us this day and throughout the rest of our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Just a little short introduction. A lot of people were asking me, well, how did this come about? Actually, it came about 15 years ago. I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis. It's an autoimmune deficiency, similar to lupus. Some people never even heard of it. And about 15 years, I was diagnosed about 20 years ago. About 15 years ago, someone blessed me to find an herbalist. And I started taking natural healing methods. I started eating right. I started exercising. I started doing everything this person told me to do. And I also became more spiritual, which helped me to even focus on doing what he told me to do. And it helped me so much. And I started sharing the word with everybody that I know. Anybody that I came in contact with that has some type of illness, I wanted to tell them if I could, you know, what I was doing. And then in November of last year, I said I wanted to do something. I wanted to do something bigger than just telling people here and there. So I spoke to the ministers here and the leaders in the church, and I asked if I could do this, and they said, good, this will be something great for the community. You know, we can help some people. If we can help some people, why not? Let's try it. So I started reaching out to various vendors, and I don't know, stuff just started happening. I could not believe it. Talk about faith. I just didn't realize how I saw it working. Everybody I asked to do something, they did it. The vendors, the presenter, the sponsor, they all did it. And it just kept happening up until even people in another state, you know, when it came to getting the supplies, the booklets. I was on the phone and this person said, you know what, this sounds like something really good. He gave me a big discount. After I got off the phone, I'm like, God, it's good. I didn't expect that, but that's what this is about. This is where we're at, and I want to start off with our first presenter. This lady, I met, I guess I never met her. I'm meeting her today for the first time, talking about the internet and things. I found out about a product that she has, and she's going to talk about arthritis. This is something that so many people have. Her name is Marge Berger. I'll read her bio. For the past 19 years, Marge has been the developer and owner of a company called PermaHealth Incorporation, an internet marketing site. For many years, she was a nutritional consultant, working with patients referred to her by their doctors. As one of the first paramedics trained in New Jersey, Marge worked in Newark and went on to become a paramedic instructor and an advanced cardiac life support instructor. While coordinating the hospital-based mobile intensive care unit, one of the products that Marge Company distributes is designed to cure arthritis. She is here to discuss the product as well as information about arthritis. Let's welcome Marge Berger of PermaHealth Incorporation. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, now the one thing, Brenda, you gotta do for me, honey, is that you're gonna wave your hand when I got about 2 minutes left, because I'm known to be just a long talker. I'm so blessed to be invited to come here. You have no idea. When I go out and I speak, the first thing I have to do, because I tell you all the things I'm not supposed to tell you, is say, is there anybody in this room who is currently working, employed by the FDA or the FTC? Because by law, they have to let me know. None of you work for the FDA. Oh, we can have a good time. Here's the thing. I have learned everything that I've learned the hard way. It's the best way. Didn't most of us learn it the hard way? And one of the things that happened to me about, I want to say 12 years ago, is I did get in trouble with the FTC. They said, you can't say you can cure arthritis. I said, but I can. Not me, the product cures it. And they're like, no, that's illegal, you can't do that. They gave me a big head to fill it out, all this silly stuff. So I'm going to tell you that I found a product that, I won't say it cures arthritis. It takes away all the symptoms, so what's the difference? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't matter. There are 40 to 50 million people in the United States with arthritis. If I honestly had the money to give everybody a bottle, I would. We would drop our health care costs and a lot of the other problems. Arthritis is a horrible, crippling disease. All of you know somebody that has arthritis, don't you? I mean, is there anybody in here that never heard of anybody that has arthritis? Half of you in here probably have it. Some of you think, I don't want to say it's arthritis, it's just I have trouble getting up in the morning because I'm stiff and things hurt in my feet if I'm on them too long. All those things are arthritis. You can get rid of it in two bottles. If you take 2 bottles of this product, over a period of 3 months, by the end of 3 months, it should all be gone. If it isn't, I want you to call me up and ask for your money back. I have given money back to customers for the last 18 years. I literally give money back to 8 to 10%, and I know because my husband keeps all these statistics. And we have given back money to 8 to 10% of our customers. Now, you know any drug that's approved by the FDA only has to work for 40% of the people in the test. When they do clinical trials, 40%, it helps them. It can be an approved drug as long as it doesn't have a lot of what they determine as horrible side effects. This works for 90 to 92% of the people. Now, actually, if anybody in here knows statistics, you know that probably another 10% of the people that I sell this product to never ask for their money back. They're too lazy, they don't need the money, they think it'll work sometime, well, they paid for it, they're, whatever. So they don't. So let's say it only works for 80%. Aspirin doesn't even work for 80% of the people who take one. And half of those get a stomach problem if they take aspirin a long time. So is this a miracle product? Absolutely. How did it come about? 1971, I'm not going to bore you with a lot of history, but it was not eons ago. 1971 at the National Institutes of Health, a Dr. Harry Deal was given a job, he was a scientist, he was given a job to give a certain strain of mice arthritis. They had an adjunct to give them arthritis so he could bring these drugs in from the pharmaceutical companies that he was given and tested on these mice. Well, he tried to give these mice arthritis. They didn't get it. He tried it again. They were called Swiss albino mice. These mice did not get arthritis, no matter what he did. He said to his boss, these mice are no good. I want mice that are normal mice that get arthritis. So he got another strain of mice. Sure enough, he gave them arthritis. But he's a scientist. His head, he kept going, wow, what happened? Why don't these mice get arthritis? They know something. They've got something in their body that other mice don't have, that we don't have. So now everybody had their breakfast. You got a strong stomach today? Okay. He tried to get funding to do the research. He couldn't get the funding. So no wonder he worked for a government agency. So he took these Swiss albino mice home to his laboratory at home and worked on it at home. Now, how do you find out what's in a bunch of mice that keeps them from getting arthritis? If you're a scientist with a strong stomach, you put 8 of them in your Waring blender and you blend them up. This is true. He did this. And then he extrapolated every single ingredient he could find in those mice and tested it. He injected it into other mice. When he got to this fatty acid ester that was in the mice called cetomyrostoliate, that's why it's called CMO. I mean, who can remember that? Cetomyrostoliate, he injected it in, and guess what? The arthritis went away. So he said, no kidding, that really works, Sedilmeier Ristoli. He had arthritis. He was in his, I think he was in his late 60s at the time. So he made up a batch, injected his knees. His arthritis went away. His neighbors are going, what's with you, Harry? You're walking much better. He goes, oh, yeah, I found this thing. I made it up that gets rid of arthritis. Can I have some? He goes, well, it's an injectable. I can't, I'm not a doctor. He's a PhD. Oh, well, whatever. And he made it up for his neighbors, and he's injecting everybody's arthritic elbows, arthritic knees. It's like, it's going away. Now there's an immunologist out in California, he was in Maryland, who decided he needed to get rid of the arthritis in his knees, and his name was Dr. Len Sands. And he had his researchers look it up, and they found an article in the Journal of Pharmaceutical Sciences, March 1994. And it said, written by Harry Deal, I found something that cures arthritis, but I don't have time to study it anymore. I hope somebody picks up the baton and studies it. So this doctor asked the other one to send him some. He did. It was oily. It was horrible, smelly mess. Actually, the capsules smelled. Don't ever open them. And he injected this in his own knees, and it had been in capsules. And he said, you know what? If we could make this into a capsule that people could take instead of injecting it, and their arthritis go away, wouldn't that be wonderful? So he worked on it. He did it. I found him about 6 months after it went public. It was announced at some American Medical Association, 1994. 1995, I found it. I had just put my first computer on my desk, had no idea what to do about it, but I knew I had to market this through a computer because I had taken it to the health food store in my little town in South Carolina, and they said, well, first of all, we don't want to carry that product, it's too expensive. I said, I know, but it works and it's only once and done. They said, no, it's too expensive. And I said, well, how about if I come like on a Saturday, and I did. And I sold it soon to everybody in town who had arthritis. And guess what? I didn't have a business anymore because everybody in that little town was cured. I realized I had to sell this on the internet. So that's why the only place you can find this product is on the internet, because local stores don't want it, they don't understand it, and when they do and they sell it, everybody in town gets cured, and so they're done. Now, what really is it? It's a fatty acid ester. What does that mean? It comes from cattle now, by the way. It used to originally come from these Swiss albino mice. When I found this product for my uncle, who was 85, he couldn't use his hands, he couldn't fix his light switch, he was nearly blind, his wife was gone. I called him one day to check on him. I said, Uncle Wilbur, can I help you with anything? He said, Marge, with your background, can you fix my arthritis? I said, oh, give me something easy. He said, well, that's the only thing. I can't use my hands very much. That's when I started doing the research. That's how this is backtracking it, but that's how I found this product. And I said to him, Uncle Wilbur, then it was $185 for 50 capsules. He goes, that's okay. I'll spend that. I said, if it doesn't work, I'll give you your money back, but I don't have the money to buy that for you right now. So he tried it, and after 3 days, he called me up. He said, my hands don't hurt for the first time in 20 years. What do I do? I said, I don't know, take the rest of the bottle. So he took the rest of the bottle. He never took any more. And then we helped him move to an assisted living, and this was my clinical trial. He was a charming, charming older man, and every night at dinner he would sit with a couple more little old ladies who were sitting there at the assisted living. And he always told everybody the story about his niece who fixed his arthritis. Now, I didn't fix it, the CMO did. And so the little old ladies who all had the same problems with their hands and their knees said, how do I get this product? He said, I'll give you her phone number. And he called me up. I said, I don't even market this yet. I just found it for you. So then I decided I better market it. And it was still $185 for 50 capsules. And these little old ladies were on Social Security, and they said, $185. I said, I know, it is expensive. Tell you what, if it doesn't work, I'm giving you your money back. They're like, okay. And so and this was in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and in a wonderful assisted living home. Nobody in that assisted living home who spent the $185, probably about 100 people, nobody ever called me up and asked for their money back. So I'm like, okay, I got to do something with this. And so I learned how to write HTML and created a website and didn't know what I was doing, and it didn't really matter because there wasn't anybody on the internet in 1995, 96. very few people had computers, and so I was selling maybe 10 bottles a month, and I thought that was really good. I was proud of myself. But then I started talking to groups and telling people about it, and people would buy this product, and they'd tell everybody, and somebody like Brenda, and you know, I'm like, this doesn't just work for arthritis, it works for any autoimmune problem. I had people with sarcoidosis, people who have rheumatoid arthritis. Here's who it doesn't work for, because that's what everybody wants to know. Should I spend the money? Is it going to work for me? First of all, it doesn't work for everybody. Nothing does. If you have rheumatoid arthritis and you're taking heavy-duty drugs like methotrexate, sulfasalazine, prednisone, those drugs inhibit your immune system. That's how they work. This product works on your immune system. So if you're taking drugs that shut down your immune system so you don't have pain, CMO isn't going to work. But if you've never taken those kind of drugs, or you haven't taken them for a year or so, and your liver is pretty good, how do I know if my liver's in good shape? Well, some people do know. If you've had a real long history of a lot of alcohol abuse, steroid abuse, football players are often take a lot of steroids, you can pretty well guess your liver's not in such great shape. So then I expect you should take a bottle of milk thistle for a couple of months and then try this product. If you smoke, it probably is not going to help you. And I found that out just by, when people asked for their money back, I would say, are you a smoker? And when they said, yeah, I smoke, started keeping records, and I found out it didn't work so well with people who smoke. I don't know why, but it just didn't. So that's what it is. Doesn't work for everybody. People say it's a fatty acid ester, and it's in butter. Ooh, you're not supposed to eat fats. Yeah, you are. You really are supposed to eat fats. Supposed to eat good fats. Supposed to eat coconut oil. You know, if you want to lose 10 pounds, it's off track. But take a spoonful of coconut oil every day. 2 spoonfuls. Good stuff for you. Real natural, good coconut oil. This does not raise your cholesterol, even though it's a fatty acid ester. I've had a lot of people who've had a high blood pressure were taking medicine, and they told me their blood pressure went down. In fact, they'd call me up and say, I kind of dizzy. I said, are you on blood pressure medicine? Yep. I'd say, you better keep taking your blood pressure, because this gets rid of toxins. We don't know how many or what for who, but gets rid of toxins. Often blood pressure is partly caused by high blood pressure by some inflammation, because almost all diseases are caused by some inflammation, heart disease, all these things. So if somebody has high blood pressure now, I tell them, you know what, you need to keep an eye on your blood pressure, because it just might normalize. You may be able to ask your doctor to lower your blood pressure medicine, so that's a good thing. Will this interfere with any of my drugs? Well, what we just talked about, blood pressure, yeah, it might interfere with your blood pressure. You might have to take less blood pressure drugs. But other than that, it's all natural. It's a fatty acid ester compound from beef. They found it in beef. They found it in sperm whales. They found it in several animals. But beef was the easiest one. And our product comes only from U.S. raised, born and bred beef. So there's no problem with the BSE, with the mad cow disease and all that sort of stuff. How long until I feel better? Everybody wants to know that. I spend this money. How long till I feel better? 3 days to 3 months. And that's the truth. Uncle Wilbur called me up in 3 days. I've had many people call me up in 3 to 4 days. I've also had a lot of people call me up in 3 to 4 days, and this is what they say. I don't feel so good. I go, well, you don't feel so good because your whole body is detoxing. Slow down on the number of capsules you're taking. We can't control what it detoxes. And I'm going to give you an example of a lady who called me up. I get all the good and I also get all the bad from my customers. She called me up, she said, your product's horrible, it's killing me. And I go, well, stop, tell me, what do you mean it's killing you? Well, I woke up this morning, I was sweating, and she said, I looked at my pillow and my sheets. They had kind of this blue color on them, and I'm like, really? There's nothing blue in these capsules, it's all clear. I said, what do you do for a living? She said, I don't work, I'm retired. I said, well, what did you retire from? I worked in a factory. I was a factory worker. What kind of a factory? A dye factory. She had blue dye in her cells. At the cellular level, this product was working. I said, I think you're detoxing. Did you ever work with blue dye? I worked with all the dyes. Yeah, I did. I said, it's coming out of your cells. That's what that sweat is. Sweat. Sweat is a cleansing mechanism. Sweat gets rid of toxins. She happened to be getting rid of blue toxins. So I was like, oh my goodness, what's this product doing? I have never had anybody have an adverse reaction that wasn't detox. So my advice to anybody that buys this product that has a whole lot of things going on, start out with 1 capsule in the morning, 1 capsule at night, then 2, and then 3. The prescribed amount, and this is dose related. This is, people always say to me, do you have samples? It's not a product you can give samples. You got to take at least 1 whole bottle, preferably 2. Because it's dose related, it works on the memory T cells in your immune system. You don't need to know how it works, just know that it works, because you don't want to be a chemist. Now, here's what happened to me. The FTC came after me and tried to shut me down and told me I had to close my website. I was a little naive. I still am about a lot of things. We all are. You know, we're all experts on a couple things, and we're very naive about everything else. I was naive about all the laws and rules. And my first website was CMO Cure. CMO Cure. They said, you can't use the word cure. And they had gone all around the internet and tagged everybody who used the word cure and told us we were doing something illegal. And they told me that I had a product. I was advertising a product to cure arthritis, so it meant it was an unapproved drug. You cannot market an unapproved drug, and you could go to jail for that. Wow. So I had a friend in New York whose father was one of the first homeopathic doctors in this country. In fact, his father was the first one. He was, at that point, in his 80s. His father was long gone. But what he did was help companies like the ones that are here that sell products that are natural. He helped them to create their wording and their labels and everything so that they would be okay if the FTC or the FDA looked at it. So I said to him, what am I going to do with this product? I said, it's wonderful, it cures arthritis, and all legally you're allowed to say about an arthritis product is it's a joint supplement. Do you ever go on the internet? There are how many? 3 million joint supplements, and you never know which one to take, and you spend your money and you try them, and you're like, really? Joint supplement. I said, I want to use the word arthritis. He said, we'll figure it out. Now, if you understand a little bit about homeopathy, homeopathy is exempt from, oh, this is wonderful, exempt from FDA and FTC regulations. They don't have to play by any of the rules because they were here first. They were grandfathered in. So when you go in a health food store and you see homeopathy remedies, those little pills and the little things, and it says this is for a cold, this is for flu, this is for arthritis, because all those things are now classified as diseases. But if you have a homeopathic product, you don't have to play by the rules. So he said to me, here's what you do, Marge. We're gonna make you homeopathic drops you can put under the tongue that actually has 5 ingredients in that work kind of like aspirin. It will stop arthritis pain for a short period of time. And he said, here's what we're gonna do. You create a little box, you put them together, now you have a product that on the box you can say arthritis because it's got a homeopathy product in it. So I'm the only person that I know of that has an arthritis product that I can actually legally say arthritis. Now some of them may be saying it, but they haven't been caught yet. Because mine says, right here on the bottle, adult arthritis pain reliever. Perfect. But it's the HPR, the little blue bottle, that's the pain reliever, and it says that, but you have to read it carefully. So I created that product. Everybody else was sent off the internet because they didn't want to get in trouble with the FTC. And I continue to market. So I've done it for 18 years. This particular product, now I have a few others that when you come, I'll show it to you. One of them, and I'll tell you this quickly, I am not going to tell you that this cures cancer, but I will tell you I was able to cure my own breast cancer in 4 months because I didn't do anything conventional except get a diagnosis. And then I worked with a stem cell enhancer, SE2, which increases my stem cells coming out of my bone marrow, probably the hip. Every time I took 2 capsules, it increases my circulating stem cells by 3 to 4 million. And that they can say because it was proven in a clinical trial. So I called the scientist who made it, and I said, what do I do? I have breast cancer. He goes, oh, Marge, don't worry about it. He said, take 15 to 18 capsules a day. I'm like, ugh. Not only was it a little bit expensive, 15 to 18 capsules a day, and I had another doctor who said, he was an MD, but he was doing natural medicine. He said, We're having the best results with cancer with IV vitamin C. I did 5 weeks of IV vitamin C. I took 15 to 18 capsules to increase my circulating stem cells. I cleaned up my diet. I got rid of some of my stress because cancer is not a disease. That don't make any sense to a lot of people. Cancer is not a disease. It is a symptom of something that isn't right in your body. Get your body right. Get your immune system normal. Get everything working right. You may need chiropractic. You may need whatever. But trying to fix and fix a cancer, which is bringing wellness back into your body. First of all, we never fight any disease. We don't fight arthritis. We don't fight cancer. Mother Teresa said, don't ever take me to a war hoopla, but bring me to a peace rally. So what we do when we are sick is we work at bringing wellness back into our life. I had a friend who came over to me and said, I never want you to tell me you're fighting cancer. We don't fight. We bring wellness back into our life, which is a whole lot of good things that you will figure out that you need with the help of other people that are positive, upbeat, a little bit knowledgeable. You don't go out there and buy everything that you see for this can help cancer. That doesn't work. You need a real holistic MD, somebody to work with. I didn't do this by myself. I sat and listened. I actually read a lot of books, took it all in my doctor, and he poo-pooed everything I picked. He had a reason for everything I had chosen, but he said, no, I don't want you to do that because I don't want you to do this one. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, IV vitamin C. We're getting the best, best, best. Now there's another vitamin C out there, which is made by a company called Live On Labs, and that one is it's wrapped in a molecule so that it gets past your digestive system into the cells. The doctor that created, Dr. Thomas Levy, says it's just about as effective as the IV vitamin C. I don't know if that's true, but he said, you know, I could probably just do that, which is less expensive. So the game, if you're trying to fight a disease, is find out what actually is working, look at the scientific studies, and then you want to find the cheapest thing you can find to fix whatever your problem is. You don't need to, I mean, I was told to go to all these fancy clinics. I didn't have that kind of money. You can fix most things at home. And you can always, I know I'm giving you a lot of information. My card is out there at my table. You can always email me and ask me questions about the things that I told you. But here's the big thing. When you email me, I want you to put Trenton Church of Christ on the subject line, because I get about 300 emails a day, and I do go through my junk mail, and I try to eliminate, but if you want me to be able to see your email and respond, just put the name of the church on it, and I'll go, boing, I know I talked to that person. And you can ask me questions, and I will give you my best answers with the products I've worked on. In my 75 years, I've just had a little bit more of life than most of you. And so I've been through a lot of things. What I've learned from a lot of mistakes that I've made, and I try to always learn from them. So the only place to buy this stuff is on the internet, and that's the reason, is because health food stores really, really don't want it. How much is it? That's the other thing. Okay, $69.95 for a bottle, $124.95 for 2 bottles. If you try 2 bottles and it doesn't work, I give you your money back. And I don't give very much money back. The last couple of weeks, nobody's asked for their money back. I sell about 100 a week in this country. I sell it in other countries. So is it going to work for you? I have absolutely no idea. Is there a good shot that it's going to work for you? Yep, it's going to work for a lot of things because it just happens to work on your immune system. Before Dr. Sands died, he and I would talk. I used to go visit him. He had a clinic in Tijuana. He actually cured my husband, by the way, of prostate cancer. He made a vaccine for him. And when he was in his 70s, he's now 88, plays tennis 3 times a week. He made a vaccine and put it under the skin on his arm. And he said the vaccine makes little Pac-Men that go in and they attach themselves to the cancer cells. And now the immune system says, ooh, that's an odd thing. See, one of the reasons the immune system has a problem with cancer is cancer cells are made in your body, so your immune system, unless it's really tuned up, your immune system looks at it and says, it looks a little odd, but I'm bypassing that. So if you take and make a vaccine and attach something to it, now it looks like a real odd duck. It doesn't belong in there. And that's how he got rid of prostate cancer, what was that, 18 years ago? So there's a lot of good things. You can get rid of almost anything. My closing statement is this. The human body heals itself if you give it the right tools. That's, amen. That's it.